All right, we are outdoors and this is the iPhone 12. But you know, before we do that, I thought let me come outside, man. Always inside, and it was nice weather today, but busy day. And I thought, you know what, wait till it gets to that about golden hour where it sunsets and come out and talk about the iPhone 12, because I've actually been able to use, I think, all the iPhone models this year: 12 Pro Max, 12 Pro, 12 mini, which is my favorite, then the iPhone 12. And as I'm recording this right now, today, the very day, and I believe today is the 9th of September. Today is when Apple announced the event for the 14th, next week, Tuesday, for the upcoming, as suspected, iPhone 13 or 12S or whatever they're going to call it. So I've gone on record to say, with my first impressions of the iPhone 12, which was a while back, this is the most sensible iPhone to get out of the four models. But does that still translate after next week's announcement of what the replacement to this, which should be the iPhone 13, be? Well, almost 1 year later, how has my time been with the iPhone 12? What's my thoughts on it? And should you be getting it with the announcement around the corner for the replacement or not? Yeah, let's talk about my review of the iPhone 12. Let's go. Before we go any further with the review of the iPhone 12, again, big shout out to Vodafone UK for supplying this particular handset for testing, on loan and review. There will be links in the description below for all the latest deals that you will find the iPhone 12 on Vodafone UK. I keep saying this, man, and I'm gonna take time for guys like myself starting out and our channel size. Getting support for devices like this means so much. So definitely check out Vodafone for that reason, man. I really appreciate them always showing love on the Lover of Tech channel. As always, we always say, let's start from the outside and work our way in, the design and the build. And I do really like what they've done with this one. Overall, in terms of the button placements, ooh. We're gonna leave that in there. We had a dog that was coming around to say hi. Starting from the outside in terms of the design, man, I really like what they've done here. It really sits well. The materials where you've got the aluminium frame, it's brushed, no fingerprints on there. And I've said this on record before when I used the iPhone 12 mini, that the glossy back really handles fingerprints a lot better than I expected it to, right? It's actually quite decent. It's really good in that respect. One thing I do have to give Apple credit for is their button placement. And I think maybe that's down to the size of the handset as well, but their button placements are so on point on this that you don't have to do that much hand gymnastics with it as well. The power button lands right on the thumb. The volume rockers, actually the volume, speak properly, man, damn, we're gonna leave all of this in. The volume buttons are on the left and it's literally right there. You don't have to do any hand gymnastics at all. And then the silent rocker as well, which has been a signature dish on iPhones and it's really good. I actually feel like the throwback to that older iPhone 5, iPhone 5S design works better for the frame and the size of this handset. The camera module is very minimal as well, so it doesn't rock pretty much at all. Overall, the size and the compactness of this really hits well. You've got dual speakers, which is great, something that they've been doing for a while now. And also the Lightning port. I don't know if it's gonna go by next week when it's announced with the replacement. I doubt it very much, but this Lightning port is a big sore point when using it, but hey, it's just something I have to kind of put out there and say. Overall, I think the design of this is solid and it works well with the nature of this particular device. But yeah, so far so good. All right, before we even continue any further, man, I've checked my stats and I've seen like only about 7% of you are subscribed to the channel. And all I can say, man, if you're here for the first time or you found yourself here before, I'm always bringing enthusiasm to tech for you, man. If you enjoy it, you know exactly what to do. Just like that button, hit that subscribe, and also turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. You're gonna be part of Team TLS as well, man. And I've got lots of content fired up in different ways. So definitely hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. Yeah, thought I'd say that and carry on through onto the review of the iPhone 12. Next is the display, and 6.1 inches. So glad compared to the iPhone XR or XR, as some people call it, the iPhone 11 of previous. They moved away from LCD and it's OLED, and it's a high quality OLED panel as well, full high definition plus, and it's based on what Apple really learned from what they did from the iPhone X all the way back. Some things are still missing, no high refresh rate, And at this price point where it starts at, it's kind of getting long in the tooth now, and I hope to see it on the replacement. Will that happen on the replacement? I don't know. But speaking on this, at least it's a quality 60 Hertz display. It is probably the best 60 Hertz display that you're gonna find on an iPhone. On any phone, even if you compare 60 Hertz on the Android side, it's still 60 Hertz though. So that's one thing that is a bit of a sore point in that sense. But you know what, apart from that, the brightness is good. It's good in terms of the colors, the rendition of it. The response is really good. The haptic feedback is on point. The typing experience is on point. It's a flat display, so you know when it comes to your typing experience and navigation and using it for stuff, it's just not gonna give you that much hassle. And at 6.1 inches, it's nice and compact. So I've got to give them that this is a really good display. And I've not had problems with it. I've enjoyed it, just not as much as me wanting a high refresh rate on there, at least at 90 Hertz. And of course, the notch screen cutout, all thanks to Face ID being there as well. But hey, that's just kind of like the signature dish of the iPhone. And will we see it disappear on the new model? I doubt it, but let's be optimistic. It might end up being the year after. But overall, the display is good. Specs and the performance and software overall is the same as you would expect it. This is well optimized. I was a little bit worried that obviously the fact that it's got 4 GB of RAM, it was gonna have some RAM management issues. And I'll be honest, I've not pushed it as much because iOS doesn't really invite you to really push the hardware to its limits based on what it actually does. And I always put my hand up and say, I'm not much of a mobile gamer. So it's a bit disingenuous for me to give my 2 cents on gaming. I might start doing that eventually, maybe. But overall, the performance is actually great because iOS on a phone doesn't really push that much. So overall, I've not really had a problem with it in that sense. The performance and the software has been great. It's not skipped a beat. I just sometimes wish iOS gave me more options, especially at these slightly bigger screen sizes as well. And I just wish they fixed some of the annoyances, right? Still having to pull down at the top right to be able to see your battery percentages. I should just be able to see it. Amongst other things, overall, I don't really have much to say about the performance. Apart from that, hey, it's well optimized, it holds up, and it kind of does the job. Let's look at the battery performance. And this is a good part on it, to be honest, right? And I think it's got about 2,815 milliamps. I'll put an asterisk if I've got it wrong, but if I've got it right, man, I've actually remembered that off head, which is great to see. It's okay. I mean, the battery charging isn't gonna excite you. I've done plenty of battery recharging tests between that and the iPhone 12 Pro, which have the same battery capacity, but you don't get a charger in a box. Boy, I don't know how many times I'm gonna have to say this, but at this price point, I just don't necessarily agree with it in that sense. But overall, the battery life is good. And even with 5G, it seems to be well optimized in that sense. But the standby time is just where iPhones really win. I just haven't met or used any other manufacturer that has the standby optimizations that you'll find on an iPhone, and it's no different here. Faster charging, wish it was that. Faster wireless charging, maybe for the people that use it, not like myself, would probably matter. But overall, the battery's just been okay, it's been good. Nothing too stand out, apart from when it comes to the standby, which I've got to give it credit for. Last is the camera. And in terms of the hardware layout, I really rate what Apple have done. No gimmicks, ultra wide and a standard wide, both 12 megapixels. Then you've got your selfie at the front. I didn't actually get around to really pushing this when it came to using it for an ultimate camera comparisons. But you know what? I did that for the iPhone 12 mini. So go check out all the camera comparisons I've done with the iPhone 12 mini. I think you're going to get near enough the same performance there. And if I'm going to remember right, very consistent when it comes to video performance. That's Apple's game. Now, in terms of how it renders colors when it comes to pictures, it's not really to my preferred taste, but it's still very consistent across all the sensors that use it. iPhone cameras are very consistent. And if you're someone that cares about using it for social media and stuff, yeah, you're not gonna go wrong. As always, they optimize way better when it comes to the social media apps. Best thing I can put on the camera is that it's no gimmicks, it's consistent. The UI has been heavily improved, still keeping the same simplicity, especially when it comes to things like being able to switch between video modes, which you couldn't do before. And you've got your HDR recording and also your 10-bit that's being put in there with Dolby Vision. So the camera is very consistent. Anything that you've seen from the 12 mini that I've used, it's gonna be the same here. Night mode maybe lacks a little bit versus the competition. You'll see that versus the Pixel 4a comparison. But overall, the camera is very consistent and still very good when it comes to video. Now, depending on when you watch this iPhone 12 1 year later review that I've done, it's really gonna be telling to see if it's still worth getting this versus the new model that's out. But overall, stacked versus what you see with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, the 12 Pro, the 12 and the 12 mini, this is definitely the most sensible one. I wish it had more storage for the base, definitely at the price that it comes at, £799 for 64 gigabytes. But overall, if you don't need those extra nice to have features like an extra zoom sensor, like having Pro RAW for the pictures, and generally just what comes with the Pro device having a slightly brighter display and stuff like that, right? I think this is still the most sensible iPhone to get, and it might just become more sensible depending on if we get a price increase with the replacement. But overall, kind of does what it says on the tin predictably as an iPhone does. That is my 1 year later review of the iPhone 12. I might try this more often, come out golden hour where the sun sets and record more reviews outside. Let me know in the comment section below if you want to see that. But yeah, I've had fun with it, man. It's been decent. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Do you have it? Were you thinking of getting it? Are you going to get the new one, or probably wait for the new one come out, see if there's not much of a difference and pick this up on a cheaper one? That's it for me, Ben from Lover of Tech. If you enjoy videos like this, you know exactly what to do, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. I hope you're all safe during this time. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.